Well, good morning. I'm early today. Had to take Lucy down to get her shampoo today, so that takes us a little bit longer. Okay? Anyhow, uh, what's going on now? Oh, yeah. We're doing football right now. What happened? Um, the scores, what teams look good, what teams look bad. Looks like the best game so far, I'm just starting to look at it, was the Eagles and the Bengals, which is 34-27. That's pretty good for a preseason game. I don't think they like each other. The Seahawks and the Raiders tied. You just don't do that. Preseason or otherwise, you just don't do that. That's a bad game. Probably coaches. Browns look good. Let's see. Uh, Daniel Jones looked good. The ex-Giants quarterback. He looked like all right. Rams beat the Cowboys. And when you go look at the box scores, you understand that the starters didn't play like the Bills game, 34-25. That's a typical Giants-Bills game. That's a typical Giants-Bills score. Close. Usually, lately they've been on the wrong side of it. So maybe next week I'll check better because the starters didn't play. When I go to the scores like the 49ers and the Broncos went 30-9. Nobody started. The starters weren't there. So this is the first preseason game. The next one's next Friday, the 15th. You got Seahawks, Chiefs. They have to come back because the Chiefs lost. And Mahomes didn't play. Kelsey didn't play. None of the starters played. So, for a team that's trying to make it back to the Super Bowl, I think they could have used some of the guys in there. So we'll see what happens. But that's that. All right, moving right along. Okay. I'm looking at this one article on number of deaths in World War II, and it opens up with this ridiculous, I can't tell whether they're animals or human beings, piles of dead bodies. Oh, that's just ridiculous. They're bringing back the Howard Stern tape, too, of him going after Melania and everything. And this guy down here, Miguel Uribe Turbe, died. He was shot back about 2 or 3 months ago. And he's a politician, he was a congressman, and he's related to the ex-president who's going to end up on house arrest. And you gotta, you read these headlines, and I'm not reading the stories because I just don't want to pay these assholes to get paid any money. But J.D. Vance is Hillary and Obama are fucked. No, they're not. Obama and his wife are more than welcome to come live in my live down here with me. So, we're telling all our friends not to go to the United States, even if they're in I don't want my wife to. She's going to have to go if something happens to me, but I don't know how she's going to handle that. It's you're looking at a really bad situation. Oh, man. So anyhow, let's go back to, oh, this is ridiculous. The headlines, if you look at this, the headlines are really ridiculous. You know, so, and nobody cares. That's the thing. They watch these videos as if they're like watching cartoons or out of habit. They don't really give a shit what's going on in the world, you know. Over the weekend, Trump apparently started beginning to send National Guardsmen and what have you into D.C. to replace and take over D.C. to be administered by the United States government. I think they have to go through Congress to do that, but you know that doesn't make any difference really. To Trump, he doesn't care. Under the laws, National Guardsmen cannot make arrests. They can stop and detain and wait for police officers, and then they become witnesses. But they really can't initiate arrests. I guess if they actually saw a crime happen in front of them, you know, if they recognized it as a crime, because they're not trained. Trust me, I was a National Guardsman, and back then we were so far from being trained in civilian anything, you know. So any civilian stuff that we knew from our life outside the Guard. But anyhow, in this particular article describing the Trump's actions of bringing National Guardsmen into D.C. and everything like that, it says half the country wants martial law. Well, if that's true, let me explain something about martial law. Now, I don't know all the details about it, but I do know that they can cancel elections, postpone or cancel elections altogether, federal elections. So, as I said once before, the midterms are iffy if they're going to show up at all. So those people that are sitting back planning on waiting for the midterms might as well go on vacation now. The other thing is that he's trying to instigate confrontation with the National Guardsmen, because if he does that, then he gets declared martial law. And then we have the situation I just described, you know. And either way, he ends up a winner and the rest of the world ends up losing. So there's another story for you, okay? What's this all about, people, you know? I don't know. I don't know, okay? I'm very upset, disappointed, what have you, with what's going on. I think the American people are getting dumber by the minute, especially if you want martial law. You're getting dumber by the minute, and those people that want it deserve it. You know, if you want martial law, you deserve everything that happens to you in this country from this point on. And it's not going to be a nice thing, all right? So please just, I don't know what else to, I'll start writing just about football and talking just about football or something like that, you know, because it's just not going to be a happy situation, you know what I mean? So, anyhow, that's that story. But, you know, I don't understand anything anymore, you know. But I am beginning to understand how fascism came to be in 1933. It's a little more difficult to institute this time around because of social media and what have you. But as Trump has learned and is in the process of doing, he's controlling it. He puts out so much garbage and so many distractions that the really important things in life that you want the politicians to do and whatnot become lost in a sea of bullshit. All right? So how do you fight that, you know? Again, I have friends of mine that are reading other people's stuff, rehashing it, reprinting it, and it's all good, it all makes sense, and it's all wonderful stuff. But if that's all you're going to do, your country's history. I don't think an armed rebellion is necessary at this particular moment in time, but I do believe some sort of armed conflict will come about. If not, you're going to look at the end of society as you know it. Unless you're at least a millionaire, you will lose all your personal freedom. And that's just the beginning. Donald can't put everything he wants into place in 4 years, all right? But he can set the ground rules, and then you have a real big problem because he's basically nominating Vance to replace him. And Vance is just so two-faced. He's another one of these people that believes he's smarter than everybody else in the room. I think he sits there and he tolerates Donald Trump in his beliefs because they're going to get him where he wants to go. But he's, if he's not that way, then obviously he's lost his mind someplace along the line. And it should be an interesting follow-up after the disaster that's going on right now. There are a lot of individuals going around and shooting people, and shooting up CDC or something else like that, some government facility. I can't tell you that's not a good idea because the people that are doing this have mental stress that's totally unbelievable. So I'm not going to... The average individual should not consider that. Those of you that think violence is the answer, the problem with violence being the answer is that we had this problem back in the 60s, is that it's a national disaster, and unless you can get the nation to start doing it, some sort of coordinated efforts with people all around the country, it's not going to work. Nothing's going to work. An individual state, I don't know what to tell you. He's meddling in an area that nobody's ever meddled in before, and he's doing things that are just really dangerous and very, very controversial. So I don't know what's going to happen. Right now, it doesn't look good. I'm tired of listening to some of the people on the internet to get my information because I don't think they know what's going on. And I don't need that in my life. I don't need confusion and whatnot. I only have, if I'm lucky, I could make 10 more years, but I doubt it. Not with all my faculties intact and my body intact. Not the way we're going right now. So it's. This is my retirement that's getting screwed over. So I'm pissed. But, I'm not capable of doing anything even if I was there. I understand why people don't do things, but I'm not physically capable of doing that. I can't walk a mile anymore, it's without stopping and resting my legs and, waiting for the dizziness to go away. So I'm not 100% healthy, and I understand that. But what can I tell you? Listen, those of you that are looking for Lucy's at a new spa this morning. We almost had heart attacks going there. It was so far away. We couldn't walk back. It wasn't that far away, but we couldn't walk back because it's straight uphill. And we're talking hills like this, okay? We're not talking like this. We're talking like this. I live on the side of a hill that's like this, and part of it's like this, okay? And I haven't seen anybody run up that hill all the way at full speed yet. If somebody goes up that hill, that section of my mountain outside my door, that fast, I'll kiss their ass, All right, so it's that time again. It's a Monday. Do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, please. Because I'm on 13, and I'm not real happy about the number 13. People are kind of weary of the number 13. It happens to work out great for me. I've had all my exams that I took on the 13th, I've aced. So I'm just like, I don't get upset about that, you know. But other people do. So let's get by that, and then, you know, we're done. You can do whatever you want, but let's at least get, you know, a couple more subscribers out there if you could, please. I would really appreciate it. It shows that what I'm doing is worth my effort, you know. If not, I'll just, you know, get up and watch cartoons in the morning like I used to. All right. Hey, listen, have a great day. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, whatever you want to do, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.